Welcome to your source for everything high school esports, and today we're recapping all of the action from week 5 of the HSEL Spring Major. Let's go.
Yeah, but two players get a wide swing through. If they can get the headshots, that's two!
That's right, versus Cancun. Cancun's already found his first. He needs to go huge for the squad, and he does! We said that he needed to step up.
Last week for Valor matches, it looks like some of our top teams decided to take some time off for spring break. Hopefully the records hold up for the rest of the season because teams like Bosco Braves are showing us that the grind never stops. Currently standing at a 4-0 record, the Braves gave the Wichita Blue Aces, our number 5 ranked team, their first loss of the season. Lake Braddock and Vernon Hills High, the 2nd and 4th teams respectively, are tied among up-and-coming teams like Liberty High, Dwight Englewood, and other notable teams with a 5-0 record. Looking into Rocky League, it would appear that 2 major events went down this week. First up is the matchup between Poly Prep, our number 1 ranked team, and the Garnet Valley Jags, one of the strongest unranked teams of the season. Poly Prep, who had only played 2 games before this matchup, showed us why they are the best team in the league, taking out the Garnet Valley Jags in a 4-2 showdown. Carmel Esports, the number 2 ranked team, takes another hard loss this week against the Kennedy Senior High School, where they were swept 4-0. As for some of our other top teams, Dog Dynasty, La Cueva High, both remain undefeated with a 5-0 record. Summit Hilltoppers, Shore Regional, Martin Warrior, Centauria, and the LN Eagles are all some new faces making an appearance on our leaderboard this week with some really high win rates. The most notable event this week in Vanguard matches was the showdown between the Crestwood Chargers, the number 2 ranked team, and Gainesville High, the number 7th ranked team. Both teams were holding an undefeated record, but the Crestwood Chargers came out on top with a 2-0 victory against Gainesville. This now leaves Crestwood and the Leviathans as the only ranked teams left with a perfect 5-0 record. Moving on to the R6 PC matches, Ridgewood is still the number 1 spot on the leaderboard, but by now I feel like that shouldn't be a surprise. 2 upsets from last week. Bradley Central's A team, who was ranked 4th, gets bumped to a 2-2 record after losing to Courts High. Whiteland, the number 9th ranked team in the league, also suffered a loss this week to the Norton Lancers. Both the Norton Lancers and Courts High find themselves in the top 5 teams on the leaderboard, so maybe one of these teams stands a chance to take down the Ridgewood Reign of Terror. No crazy moves going down in the chess scene this week. The members of Valley Christian High are maintaining some pretty solid records though. Oliver, the number 5 player from Valley Christian, is sitting at a 4-0, while team members like Tony, the number 7th ranked player, has a 3-2 record. Our returning champion from Rancho Solano, Samik, has yet to be seen from the start of the season, so that might be some good news for the new faces who are dominating our leaderboards like Artyom from High Tech LA, Jason from Vandergrift, and Eric from Courts High. Checking out the matches in 2K from both Xbox and PlayStation, there were no major moves made by our returning players, but a few upsets amongst the top unranked players. In our Xbox League, both Gabe D from Pal Mac and Jaden H from Spring Hill had been at the top of our leaderboards with solid records. This week though, the two were actually matched up against one another, and Gabe swept Jaden in a 2-0 matchup, taking his undefeated record along with him. Moving on to the PlayStation side of things, the Cinnamons and Pirates aren't making much headway on the leaderboards outside of their unranked competitor Ahmad, who currently holds a 3-0 record. Paralleling the Xbox division, Jarrett B and Jaden K, who both had undefeated records as top unranked teams, were matched up against one another, forcing a Game 3, with Jaden ultimately came out victorious, stripping Jaden from his undefeated run this season. Moving on to the other major console title, Rainbow Six, our Xbox League still remains dominated by the Ridgewood Maroons, who are the only team with a record of 5-0. Their biggest competition from last season, Rancho San Juan, who was ranked 2nd, lost to Russell Tyler Ruthven High. The Rancho San Juan Trailblazers now fall into an even record of 2-2. OABCIG, the number 3 team, who hadn't played a match since losing to the Maroons in the first week of the season, unfortunately lost again this week to a school called Samanauk. I hope I said that right. Looking into the PlayStation division, we see an unranked team who has quickly asserted themselves as one of the top competitors this season, AECI Tigers, who are tied amongst the leaderboard with Atascocita. AECI has beaten quite a few of the more notable teams in the league, including Intense City, who was on a strong win streak. Atascocita also happened to lose to the AECI Tigers in one of the earlier weeks this season. As we approach our midseason rank refresh, it looks like AECI is destined to claim the number 1 spot from Holy Name. CSGO doesn't see any major upsets amongst the ranked teams. Milburn, the number 1 ranked team, gets a bye this week, consequently putting them in the top spot with a 4-0 streak. 2 unranked teams that we had been keeping an eye on, though, suffered their first losses of the season last week. Novi Wildcats lost to another unranked competitor, the Princeton Tigers, who we believe hold a 3-0 record. Bayside High, another strong unranked team, lost their win streak to Libertyville High, the number 5 ranked team in the league. As the season progresses, we are starting to finally see some rivalries develop in the Minecraft division. Noah K Up and Ansalon seem to be going back and forth in the top few spots, with Noah claiming first for week number 5. Kato, who was in 4th just a few weeks ago, drops to 6th with 365 points. Scrone with 382 points and Winstrat with 375 points are some new faces in the top 5. BTWB also makes a bit of a comeback, solidifying themselves in the number 3 spot for the week with 403 points. Last but certainly not least, our Halo League saw some major upsets, starting with the Bosco Braves and Platypulse Gaming facing off against one another. As 2 of the top teams in the league, this was a highly anticipated matchup, both with undefeated records, but we were surprised to see the Braves actually completely swept the Platypus Gaming squad 3-0. Bosco Braves and TVHS Vikings are the only teams remaining with a 5-0 record as we start week number 6. The TVHS Vikings were actually paired against the Ridgewood Maroons, who takes us to our next upset. While the Maroons are new to the Halo League, just like everyone else, they're still one of our strongest teams. Finishing the match 3-0 though, the Vikings swept the Maroons. It's looking like our next big matchup to keep an eye on this season are the Vikings versus the Braves in Halo. That's gonna do it for week number 5's recap. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the high school esports updates, and I'll see you guys next week.